Shall we begin?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I'm Anastasia, and this is our co-founder Bart here at Explain Everything.
Hello.
And we're really happy to have Felix with us today for this great webinar. Felix from Villa Weversbusch, a German private school. Yes, hi. So Felix teaches PE and mathematics, and we're really hoping that his insights are going to be invaluable to educators everywhere. So that's where we stand today. That's what this webinar is going to be about. It's going to be about hybrid learning in the classroom. And as we all know, that's very, very important right now. So hi Bart and hi Felix.
Yes, hi. Hello, everyone.
Okay, so also I'd like to let you guys know that I'm going to be here on the chat as well as our colleague Kuba, known as Cooper. He's also going to be here monitoring the chat on YouTube and on Zoom. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to add them here, and we will answer them as soon as we get around to it. So we invite you to do that. And yeah, let's move on a little bit. I wanted to tell you just a moment. For a moment, I wanted to tell you about the award that we just received. Bart, if you could scroll over there. Thank you so much. So we would be remiss to not mention the award that we got just the other day. And
just yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Oh my gosh,
time. It was officially yesterday. We knew 2 days earlier, but it was officially yesterday.
Right. It's just time flows so strangely this year. I can't tell. So we wanted to take a moment to say how excited we are to be doing this just today, specifically because we just won this Apple App Store Trend of the Year award. And our app was made for teachers, and we are very proud, but we also want to remember, and we always remember, that it's teachers that helped us get here. So all of your feedback, all of your insight, all of your patience. So thank you for being with us, Felix. And thank you to all of the teachers who use Explain Everything and who help us make our app better every day.
Exactly. Felix, it's the teachers like you who made this app possible. And without your help and other teachers' help, it will not be what it is right now. So we're humbly thank you for your support, for all of your support. And I believe, Felix, this is a really special moment that just after getting this award here, we have it right here with us, right? We can connect and speak about real classroom use of Explain Everything in a very unique, but because of simplicity in a very unique scenario, right?
Yeah, and we can see how all of the work that we've put in over the years can really help make things easier for teachers, and that's really the greatest reward of all, even though we do like that one as well. So moving on, I wanted to talk just for a brief moment also about the 3 use cases that we have. Bart, could you show us the use cases?
Sure.
There they are. So in Explain Everything, we have 3 main use cases, and the first one is recording. So recording explainer videos. So this is great, for keeping students in the loop if they missed something, or for, doing the same lesson over and over again. So you can just show your students a video that you prepared. Then there's a collaboration where you can have like entire groups of students working on a project together. This is great for brainstorming, keeping the atmosphere of a normal classroom alive during these times. And then there's presentation. So presentation means, presenting. But you can do it either in the classroom using, for instance, Apple TV or something, and you can also do it remotely. So basically share the contents of your whiteboard with your students. So these are the 3 main scenarios.
And we do it now on a webinar, right? That's the presentation for you in a very unique setting.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're doing right now. And thank you, Bart, for pointing that out. We do, of course, use our tool to talk about all the different uses that it has. So
I guess what will be cool is that what will be cool is that we're going to demonstrate how to mix those 2 scenarios. We're going to present using Explain Everything, but I'm going to also turn on recording so we can capture the entire process of us going through this scenario. And by this, we can share with you later a material created not only by recording on YouTube, but also the clip from Explain Everything.
Yes,
shall we?
Exactly. All right, let's do that.
Okay, so turn on recording and please continue.
That was basically the main introduction that I wanted to do, and I'm actually going to hand it over to you, Bart, and you, Felix.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thanks for that. And one more thing before we begin, Felix. If any of participants would like to ask us questions, please go ahead. We'll be ready to take it and answer it live. So you have all information that you need. So don't feel free to interrupt us as we go.
Actually, we already have a question right now. I don't know if you want to get into that this particular moment.
Felix, what do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's take it.
Okay, so Meredith asks if her school district has to have a paid subscription before she can use the collaboration or presentation features.
The collaboration or presentation features. Presentation, I would say you can go with free version of Explain Everything. You can use this to present with some limitations. For a collaboration, that would be more difficult. It would be best to have at least one subscription for yourself as teacher, because Explain Everything is made in a way that others can join as guests to your canvas if you have a subscription. So that's what I would suggest. Start small, but the best way to do it would be to contact us, start a pilot in your district so you don't have any limitations, and see if it actually works for you on a scale, right?
Yeah. Good idea.
Yeah. Today, we're not going to speak much about collaboration. We're going to not speak about it at all, because we will be focusing on a very simple scenario, but yet very powerful, of using recording and presentation.
Yes, and Felix is our expert on the subject, as he's been doing that in his classroom with some success, a lot of success for the past few months, especially, although Vila Veversbush has been with us for quite some time, so we're very proud of that. And yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, so let's speak about the scenario of using live recording in hybrid learning, the way you use it, Felix. So if we could speak first, before we do the demonstration, what are the benefits that you see as a teacher?
I mean, so first of all, congratulations for your award. You really deserved it. And yeah, the main benefit, I would say, is the simplicity. I mean, I'm teaching in the classroom anyway, and like you're doing it right now, the live recording is amazing because I can record my lesson and I can share it immediately afterwards with all my students. And that's really, really helpful, because I don't have to do it all over again. And for me, that's the main point.
Okay.
The simplicity, because I think all teachers have the same problem, the time issue. They don't have a lot of time after school, and I don't want to spend my time in doing some, like really the explanation video or something. I can get it on YouTube, but when I do it on Explain Everything, it's something different, because I can share it immediately with my students, and they were taking part in the lesson. So it's more, they're more connected to the video. So that's why I like it so much.
Yeah, cool.
Definitely, the more personal, the better. I think we've learned that really over the past few months.
Yeah, we did. And we even had a conversation about what type of, polish there should be for the video that you're sharing. Should be like, ad hoc, spontaneous, quickly done, or should it be polished? Why don't we show the process first before answering those questions? Because these are really interesting to ponder. Shall we?
Sure, let's do it.
Felix, ready?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just zoom in here where I do have a video, and thank you for preparing this clip.
Yes, thank you. It's lovely, Felix.
So what we'll do, we'll use Explain Everything to play a video from your classroom where you had a lesson. What was the lesson about?
It's math. It was about, it's a geometry lesson.
So
and it's about pyramids.
Oh, cool. All right. So we'll play this video, show you step by step the process of using Explain Everything in this scenario. And we'll pause this video just to explain what you see and how Explain Everything is used. Okay, so shall we begin?
Let's go.
Yeah. So I see this is at the very beginning, understand you're using Explain Everything here to provide instructions, right?
Yes, that's true. I just use it as a whiteboard, and I explain the content of the lesson. Meanwhile, I was streaming it for the students. I used Apple TV and AirPlay, and the students could watch what I was doing on my iPad. And it's just like we did some. I did an explanation of how to work with pyramids, and then we did an example together. So all the students were participating while I was explaining.
Okay, so you're using Apple TV to connect to the screen, right?
Yes.
All right. Any lessons learned from like this process? Do you use screen mirroring, or you're trying to use the second screen not to display the tools to your students? How do you use it?
Usually I use screen mirroring.
Well, this has additional value, I guess, because students can learn by watching you using the app, right?
Yes. So they can see what I'm doing. I mean, the tools, they're not really distracting on the side. So I try to keep it as simple as possible. And when I'm mirroring my screen, I think that's working quite well. So
Okay.
I just stick to it.
Okay, so that's the first step, and let's watch how it unfolds. So you're using Apple Pen here.
Yes, that's really helpful. I mean, without the Apple TV, it wouldn't be the same. Without the Apple Pen, sorry.
Yeah.
TV. So the Apple Pen is a must-have.
And you have your
explaining.
And you have your students here doing using Explain Everything as well, or something else?
Some of them. They're just taking notes while I'm explaining. Some do it in Explain Everything, but they also use pages or notes or whatever they like.
All right. What type of iPads do you use in the classroom setting?
It's different. We try to use the iPads from 6th to 8th generation. Because they have the Apple Pencil support. And then, we try to avoid like the lower ones because they don't have the support. And we are also avoiding the Pros because they are too expensive.
Oh, okay. So
I mean, you can get the best value from the price value combination is quite good from 6th to 8th generation.
Right, and we can see you here illustrating
yes,
on the screen, untethered, you're using your pen. This is a quite complex topic, we can tell here. Okay, great, so I'll put it here as a second perspective on instruction delivery. So let's go forward. It's good that you all guys wearing masks, right, in the classroom. How many students you allow to the classroom these days?
We're about 16. So in Germany, you have to wear masks at all time in the classroom, and we need to open the windows.
Yes, right.
Every 20 minutes, which is cold right now.
Yeah, we had our first today, so I can imagine.
Yeah. So I understand during this process, you also take questions.
Yes.
I actually have a few questions here, Bart, if
All
you
right.
want.
Sure, we can pause.
Sure. So Sarah's asking, what is screen mirroring? So
very good. Thank you. And Celia's that we we should explain that. So screen mirroring is when content of entire screen of your iPad is visible on the second screen. That means all tools that you see here on the left side, let me take this arrow, those toolbars here are visible or also on this second screen, like here. You see, that's a good example. You can avoid that if you're using iPad and you connect to a second screen, overhead projector, or just flat panel on your wall by turning on so-called second screen mode. And in order to do that, well, when you connect to the external display, there'll be a question popping up from the top of your screen. Would you like to use mirror or second screen mode? But if you dismiss that or you won't react to it, it will disappear. And then you can find the same setting going to Settings, then tap here, and you'll see second screen mode. Yeah, just here. You can decide, should it be mirror or second screen, just here. So that's a good question. Thank you.
Yeah, and we also have one more. Sherry wants to know, what kind of camera or mic do you need, or camera and mic?
For recording lesson on iPad?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So you don't use any external microphones when you do your recording on Explain Everything. Is that correct?
Yes, I just explained the stuff to the students and I pressed the record button and I didn't use any microphone. So I think you could use a microphone or you could do the voice over later when you are done recording, but I just didn't do it because of simplicity reasons. I just wanted to explain and record it.
But I guess that's a good question, because you can go far in terms of the level of polish on your video. And we usually, when you do the production, let's call it production, when you do the clip that you want to share and you want it to be like more perfect, then we suggest to use external microphone, Bluetooth microphone, right? But in the classroom setting, as in your example, that would add additional friction. So Explain Everything is good enough for this quick, just-in-time capture. And yes, it's not going to be perfect because, for example, like in your example, Felix, if you're using Apple Pen, you can hear those, moments when you tap your iPad with your pen tip, right? You can hear that on the video, but still, it's just quick and dirty video that you do.
I mean, you can make some really professional-looking videos with Explain Everything and maybe later some editing, but in this case, it was all about simplicity, and I didn't want to share it on YouTube or anywhere. I just wanted to get it out to my students. And that's why I kept it really, really simple.
Right. So you're optimized for speed here. And if anyone would want to optimize for quality, it's possible. And we do have webinars and materials about, improving your video as you go. Because with Explain Everything, you don't have to capture everything in one go. You can have layers after layers of additional elements, adding them one by one to your recording. But that's not something we're demonstrating today. What you're doing in the classroom is just quick and dirty to provide instructions, capturing your instructions that you provide in the classroom on the screen. But I understand that you do something more with this video, right? You share it later with absentees.
Yes, I share it with all my students, and I right after the class I send it to them. We have a shared iMessage group, or later on we also using shared folders where we put all our stuff in, and that's why I kept it so simple, because it's just for my students. It's not for anybody else, but it's for them to re-watch the lesson, and also for the students who are absent. We have always 1 or 2 students who aren't in the classroom at the moment, some for a longer time, and they can also watch what we have done in the classroom, although they weren't there live, because we had problems. We already thought about it. We had a period in Germany where half of the class was in the classroom and the other class could stay at home. So they had the option of going to school or stay at home. And that was quite difficult because we couldn't really put a camera in the classroom because we didn't have the equipment to do that and the technical connection. So this really helped during the time that I could record my lessons or record just the explanation part of my lessons and send it to the students so they could re-watch it later or at any point they wanted to. And later in the year we have exams, so they will come in May, I think, and they still have all the videos and then can re-watch it when it comes to complicated stuff. It's really helpful for them. So I sometimes take simple or single exercises, and I just do one exercise as a video and then put it out for my students.
Okay. So the instructions that you provide at the beginning of the lesson, you share with them using shared folders of what kind?
We have managed Apple IDs at our school, and we can use a shared folder with managed Apple IDs.
And that's the process of sharing here, right? So
yeah, in this case, I send it to my students on iMessage.
So let me just pause here. I'll take a picture of this. Okay, so that's sharing. Maybe here. So you share here using iMessage to your students this clip. And this clip was to provide illustrations how to do the exercise. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true.
With iMessage.
Yes. I mean, there are different ways to share the video. It depends on how your school setting is like. And for us, iMessage or AirDrop works really well. But as I said before, later on, we put it in a shared folder. So they have always an option to see it, no matter how. So
But I guess that's the quickest, that's the fastest way to do it in the classroom, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fastest way would be AirDrop. Later on in the video, we can see that I shared also a project via AirDrop.
And here's an important moment, because you're sharing a small clip, so it compresses quickly. So it renders on your device. Do you use cloud rendering sometimes or not to speed up the process?
So far, I just did the rendering on my device. But I mean, cloud rendering is also a great option.
So let's explain what we see here. So when you want to share a video on Explain Everything with your class, you basically have two options. You can share MP4, that's a video clip, but it needs to render to the MP4 as you see here. That's the rendering process, right? And depending on the length of your clip, it might take seconds up to minutes. And there's the second option where clip is not created on your device, rather it's created by the cloud. And then what you share is just a link to the video under which video plays, where it's streamed with students. So when you share in this process, in your example, when you share a file, right?
Yes.
But if you want to share a link to a video in the cloud, you just upload project to the cloud using this option here, using option that creates web video link. I cannot show it now, but it's a web video link creation. And it might be faster for you if, let's say, video is long. In your example, that's a short video, and therefore it's not as time consuming, right, Felix?
Yes. So you can use both. There are two good options. Yeah, it depends whatever your settings are like in your school. So if you're using the education version of Explain Everything, I think that's a really good option. If you're using the collaborative version, then you can upload it. So yeah, these are both, it's working both ways. The uploading is much faster, but you can also do your video file after the lesson, for example, or when you're like in the next few pictures, I'm walking around helping students. So I can also leave my iPad on the table and then converting the recording to an MP4 file.
Yeah. So the choice is actually yours to make. You have those options in the collaborative version, both options. And this EDU version that you mentioned, there's just a way to render without cloud. So this happens on your device. You're using your collaborative version, but you're choosing file sharing. And again, it is a simplicity, right? That's for, because the length is short, it is the simplest way to share a file with the class. And let's see what happens next.
Bart, if I could just have one question here.
Sure.
So there's someone who's asking if you can record audio using AirPods, like if you're using, like wearing your AirPods.
Felix, do you do that using AirPods?
I didn't do it so far, but I think it's possible.
We do it quite often. We like doing it that way because, then there are no sounds of your pen touching the glass panel of iPad. You can also use regular headphones. So yes, that works. Microphone from those sets, either AirPods or regular cable set, work well with Explain Everything.
I mean, in this situation, I couldn't wear AirPods because in the classroom, students would be confused.
Absolutely.
Is he listening to music?
Absolutely. All right. Let's see what follows. So here you have this process of sharing video file, as we explained. And once it's done, you send this file to students. Okay. So it was something you decided before. So here they already got the file, right? Oh, that's a different situation. So
yeah, that's the video right now, and I'm sharing it
okay.
on the iMessage group.
Okay, because you could decide with whom to share this video from Explain Everything, but you decided to save the video first and then share it from photo. Okay, makes a lot of sense. So I'll make a clip here. So that's sharing from photos. So let's see what follows next. Oops, sorry. Clumsy fingers of mine. So now your students received this video file so they can use it as an aid, right, when doing their exercises.
And if you could turn back a little bit, like just a small thing. Yeah, that's it on my iPad. Oh, not this one, the one before. You can also use this one because that's the student's iPad. And I had an exercise for the students. And I sent this exercise on AirDrop to my students who were in the classroom. So this is my iPad, and there is a exercise for my students. And I shared it. There are also different ways to share it to the students. So I used, in this case, for demonstration purposes, I used AirDrop. So this is the second file with a task for the students, and it's a Explain Everything project in this case. It's not a video file, it's a project file.
So you're providing them with a template to work on,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. That's the Louvre in Paris, and they had to measure the glass around the Louvre, and that's the task for the students. And I shared it as an Explain Everything file because they had to record a live video while they were doing the task. So it's similar to what I did in explaining my students the way to calculate or to work with pyramids. And now they have the task and they have to do a similar thing. So they have to record a live video when they are answering the question.
Okay. So when they do that, they use your project as a template because, well, you don't want them to start blank, right?
Yes. And there is a small, I think it's in the blue corner in the blue bubble, there are some numbers they need for calculation.
Okay. All right.
So in the template is also the task for the student.
And they receive it using airdrop like here, right? That's the process of receiving.
That's the process of receiving. And then she also did her notes and explained everything before.
That's why she denied, oh, now she's
yes.
Explain Everything, right? Project saved. So that means that when she's using Explain Everything for note-taking, if project comes in using airdrop, right, it may not disrupt the process of note-taking. It does not disrupt the process of note-taking because there's a choice of saving it locally, right? I can play it one more time if I find this exact moment. Oh, yeah, there was. Project saved locally, right?
Yeah.
And now your student can come back to the main screen and just open this template. And the project saves in library. Oh, and there it is, right? That's the moment of opening project from the library that you sent over using airdrop.
And now she's ready to go.
All right. And that's the thing, when you're in the classroom, you can help them easier than doing that remotely, right?
Yes, now I'm just walking around helping the students to do the task, and they try to do what we have learned before.
How difficult it is for students to use Explain Everything at first go when they provide them with template? Is it difficult?
No, I think it's manageable. So the toolbar is on the left. It's really clear what you can do with it. And yeah, they just have a go. I mean, you can't destroy anything.
And that was a good moment. Let me just scroll back a little bit here, because I can see your students use split screen feature, right? Oh, here.
Yes. Yeah. They're taking they have some notes on the right, or some of them, they have a calculator on the right, and on the left, they are just having the task.
So that's the use of split screen. It's especially important in math, right? Because you can use additional applications like calculator you mentioned.
Yeah, but also in languages, I see them use it quite a lot. When they have a dictionary on the right and some text on the left, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, speaking of math, Bart, we have a question here from Daniela who asks, how can I get quad or graph paper as a background for explaining math problems?
Yeah, you can, and you can do it in two ways. I'll stop recording here for a moment to demonstrate that. I'll create, Felix, just one moment for us to explain visually how you can do that.
No, that's really important for that teacher. I saved this also.
But it's also
as a
a bit,
template. Yeah.
you know, that's why it's good to demonstrate that here quickly. I just created a second slide. It's an empty slide, and we can use a pattern on the background of the slide by going here to the slide sorter. I press this edit button in order to edit the background of my slide, and I'll use this icon here, where I can select background color, right? But I can also decide if I want to have grid or lines, okay? And you can scroll, pinch in and out to make them larger or smaller. And you can also decide on the color of the grid. So that's you can decide whatever color you like. So let's say I want to use this as a background. I'll tap down, and here I am, right? And now I can use this grid of mine for math lesson. The important information is that this feature is available on iOS, and it's coming to Android and web, and it's going to be available shortly. And in fact, we are going to have a webinar about new cool features of Explain Everything.
When's that coming up, Bart?
Early January, but you'll be able to sign up, I guess, next week.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Anastasia, I think you're the host of that session.
Am
right?
I? Okay.
Are you excited? Because I'm going to watch it for sure.
So stay tuned, Daniela, and well, everybody else as well. We'll definitely be talking more about that.
Felix, do you use patterns, lines, or grid paper when you do your videos?
I do the grid one.
Uh-huh.
And I saved it as a template, so it's quite handy for my lessons.
Yeah. There's one additional way of adding that as a background. You can always have an object, an image of a page, like scanned page, or any image that you can pull from the web, and you can use that as a background, because in Explain everything you will annotate on top of object will stick to the object, right? So if you have a object with a grid that you like, you can use this as a background and just draw on it like on a sheet of paper.
Exactly. And if we have time for one more question here, Eileen is asking, how do you make that split screen? Like, how do you do that?
That's a good question. Let me try to demonstrate that. So when I pull my dock here and I use my edge of my screen, lower edge of my screen, I can pull the dock up, right? And let's say I want to pull files and have it as a split screen. So I drag files to the edge of my screen, and this is what happens, right? You can have it on the left side or on the right side. Let's say I want to have it on the right side, and boom, here we are. And now I'm in this split screen, and I can even change the proportions of the split screen to have files taking more or less space depending on the use case. So let's say if your student wants to use calculator in like Felix, in like your example, if the calculator sits right here on the dock, and that's the most convenient way of using it, just pull it from the dock to the right side of the screen, as I did, and you're good to go.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure. We love to explain everything.
Literally in the name.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's continue with the use case. So here we have split screen on students' screen, right? Explain on the left. This student is not using split screen. What do we see here? So at the end of process of preparing, answering, here's another use of split screen, right?
Yeah, he's using a calculator.
Right. But at the end, the end result of that is a video, right? You want to receive a video clip from your students. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the student, they should record the task. So whatever they found out about it. And they are supposed to send it to me as a video. So in this case, we see the video of one of the students and what she did. And for me as a teacher, it's quite good to see her mistakes. So if she did any mistakes, I can see it in the video and I know what she did wrong. And because she is also explaining what she's doing, I can see that she didn't understand a part not correctly. So I can go back to her and tell her, hey, I think you got this wrong, this part. And when I just get the task on a piece of paper or as a PDF or whatever, I just see the wrong result, but I don't really know her ways of thinking. So I can see what she thought while she was doing the task. And that's better for me to see her mistake.
It's really fantastic, actually, Felix, that you brought that up, because we've actually spoken quite a lot about that this year. How Explain Everything helps teachers track their students' train of thought. So as you said, you don't just see the wrong result, but you see how they got there, and you can be more precise with your corrections, because you can pinpoint the exact moment that they started veering off course, instead of just guessing where they may have made a mistake. So really, yeah, that's great that you brought that up.
And you can use it also the other, you can use it also the other way around. So the student, if they have a test or something, and they send it to you as a file, as a PDF, handwritten test, you can upload it in Explain Everything, and then you can correct it live. You can also just push the record button and correct the mistakes and then send it to the students back as a video, which is also really helpful because you can explain what they did wrong instead of just handing him the piece of paper with something in red on it, because they won't understand it, because they did the mistake not on purpose. So they did something wrong because they didn't get something wrong. And in this case, you explain. So if you're recording live while you are correcting, while you're marking or grading, then it's easier for the student to understand the problem.
Totally, exactly.
So this is like an accelerated version of the video that you received from your student, but I can tell, and I was looking for this very moment where laser pointer was used. I can tell this by this little dot right here, right here. You can say, okay, student was not only putting down the explanation of the process of calculating, but also was giving instructions how he or she arrived at that, right? And that was captured by audio, right? Yes.
So the laser pointer is a proof in which age group you are teaching, because the younger ones are always using the lightsaber. And so these are older students, and they were explaining and recording the video. And while they were explaining, they used the laser pointer.
That's great. Okay. So what is your habit? How do you review those videos? You fast forward through those videos to see if the result works, or do you watch them? How do you work with those videos? You get a lot of them, right?
Yes. So it's about it depends how many students you have in a class. You can also do like a collaboration from students. So they both have to do the video in groups, and everybody has to speak while they are recording. So everybody has to explain a certain part. But in this case, I just reviewed the video. Usually I'm fast forwarding, and if I see like something that's either really good, or if I can spot a mistake, then I'm just not fast forwarding. Fantastic. Because some students, they put some effort in their videos. So I have had a student in the group who did it outside and used the microphone and put some extra effort in it. And then I try to watch the video.
This is great. Do they like the process of doing those videos and sharing those videos with you as a result?
Yeah, absolutely. At first, they're always a little bit shy, I would say, because they have to present something and they have to speak on camera, which is not always in their skill set right away. But I mean, it's a really important feature that they need in their future life. So everybody needs to speak in front of the camera, or when we are talking about webinars right now, it's really important for them to get the skill.
Yeah, exactly. That's another important point, I think, is the practical aspect of this, because, it's the 21st century and chances are we're all going to be using technology every day of our lives for the rest of our lives, at work, etc. So for them to learn some skills that could be useful in the future, I think that's just, another way that school can help prepare them for their, for their professional lives. So that's great too.
Yeah, the fancy way of calling those skills these are the digital visual literacy skills, right?
Exactly.
We don't usually call them that way, but they practice not only what you teach them, but also how to use technology to communicate efficiently. Yeah.
More important than ever.
It is.
Yes, definitely.
Indeed. Felix, thank you for providing us with walkthrough. It was really great to see the process of how you're using Explain Everything. Just to summarize, you don't use any LMS system in this example. There are no integrations. You use just Explain Everything with iMessage, with combination of iMessage, some shared folders. And that's it. Nice and simple.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about keeping it simple in the classroom, I think, because if I use like 10 apps to do a video, the students might be overwhelmed and they lose focus. And it's always a good way to, then they're switching between apps and then losing the focus. So I don't know, try to keep it simple.
The simpler, the better.
Definitely.
Yeah. Fantastic. We have some time, so if you'd like to ask us some questions, if you'd like to ask Felix some questions, please go ahead.
I think we covered most of the questions. Hold on one second. Let me just go back and see if there's anything that we missed.
All right. So as we're waiting for questions, maybe we can cover how you can get your hands on Explain Everything and how we can help you to get started with our software. So I'll share my screen one more time to show you these options. So Explain Everything is an app that you can use on mobile devices, but you can also use it on a computer. There's a web version as well. It works best for mobile devices because, as Felix mentioned, the stylus input, right? The pencil, the Apple Pen or stylus on Android devices, as your tablet can be a perfect substitute for the blackboard, marker board, whatever you use in your classroom. If you use Explain Everything, you can also transfer those lessons remotely as we demonstrated. So that's why it's best to use tablet because it allows for this type of input. There are different prices of the Explain Everything. What I'm sharing here are prices for individual educators and small group, but we have really affordable pricing for schools and districts. So if you'd like to try Explain Everything at scale, you can always contact us. We provide pilots for schools and districts, and then pricing, of course, is different.
We host dedicated webinars. So if you have your entire school that's signing up, me and Bart or somebody else from our team, we'll also sit down with you and walk you through the basics. So you're not left to deal with everything all by yourself. So no worries.
But if you still would insist to learn by yourself, we do have those helpful resources for you. And there's a help section of our website where we speak about differences between two versions that we provide or different platforms that we support. But there's a cool resource on YouTube, right? We have Explain Everything Essentials course that is going to be improved a bit.
Yes, actually, that's kind of my pet project and I'm excited about it. So I've been creating, as Bart mentioned, a new YouTube series or several different playlists called New Essentials or New Explain Everything Essentials. And that series of videos will explain how to use all of the tools one by one. They're going to be like short, digestible videos that you can watch as many times as you need to learn how to use all of our tools. And that should be premiering shortly. So keep an eye out for that on our YouTube channel.
Question, Felix, to you. What was your process of learning how to use Explain Everything?
Ooh, it's a good question. It's a long time ago. I think we met Explain Everything in 2014 for the first time. I think it was 2014.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, then we just used it as a whiteboard. And yeah, from then on, it's part of our daily usage of apps. So we use it almost every day in the classroom in different scenarios, of course, but I think we started in 2014.
Nice, but to be honest, that's what we hear from students. They don't need any resources from us, right? They don't. They can learn as they go.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially kids, kids just a lot of times you give them some things and they just figure it out by themselves. So
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm not using all the features that are on Explain Everything, but for my purposes, it's good. It's enough. It's all I need. So, I mean, if you want to learn more, there is always some room for it. But the students, they're also learning quite fast.
Mm-hmm.
So faster than we are probably when it comes to technology.
There's a good question coming on chat here, and I'm just let me read it to you. I use iPad, and my students use small phones with small screens. They complain not seeing what I write on my canvas. Why is it so? Is it because I use a big? Yeah. So if you want to have your students have a more convenient way of watching you going on your large screen, if they use phones for that, there is a way to do this because usually when you're broadcasting your screen, as we did before, I was just broadcasting my screen, you are like restricted to my perspective on the canvas. But we do have this collaborative mode of using Explain Everything. So students can join your canvas, but can roam around freely on their own. This means that if you have students using phones, they can like detach their perspective and look at something closer as you are looking at it. And by this, there's a lot of flexibility of using that. And you provided a webinar on that 2 days ago, right?
Yeah, we did. We did talk about that, me and Kuba.
So there's going to be another one. There's a recording of the previous, I believe, available.
Is it already available? I think it should be, right? I didn't check today, but it's definitely going to be up on our YouTube channel if it isn't already.
So please contact us. We can provide you with a link to that resource if you want to watch that, or sign up for another webinar on this very topic where we will explain how to use this collaborative mode with students. If students use small screens, this is going to be really helpful.
Yeah, the collaborative mode is one of the things that we talk about quite often on our recurrent webinars. Mm-hmm. So if you missed the one before, you can always watch it on YouTube. But if you want to catch another one, I'm sure there's one coming up.
Exactly. But Felix, I love your example because it's so simple. Recordings with no integrations, almost with no integrations. You're using iMessages, you're using share folders, and it works. Technology is not something to be afraid of. If you keep it simple, it just works. That's terrific. Have you had any, hard moments in the classroom where you had some problems with connectivity that you had to resolve? Does it happen?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, the connection, the Wi-Fi connection sometimes breaks down. I mean, we are on a really separated location.
Mm-hmm. And how do you deal with that? I mean, does it add to the stress, or you learn how to deal with those situations?
I mean, it happens to everybody, so you don't need to stress about it. If, I don't know, sending a video to my students and they don't get it immediately, so I send it via AirDrop, or I don't know. There's always a solution to a problem.
That's what we usually say. Sometimes Felix, we're troubleshooting on a webinar like this. You can remember, you can imagine hundreds of teachers watching us going, and we're something broke. But that's the reality. Technology is sometimes nasty to us as well, and there's no problem troubleshooting around issue and finding other way of sharing video or file. There are many ways to go. So it's not something to be stressed about. It's a matter of finding way around. And if you join us on other webinars, we explain tips and tricks about how to overcome those situations. So we're happy to share those with you.
Definitely. And we have Jorge here asking one more question. He says, as the admin of a group, I would like to change the names of the other users. So you can do that, right?
The names of the other users in...
I guess he means in that group that he's the admin of.
I'll chime in. So sorry, I just asked here. So you cannot do that at the moment. So no.
Oh,
hello everyone.
Thank you, Cooper.
From
disembodied
here,
voice.
yeah.
Thank you.
But helpful as always.
Yes.
Fantastic. Felix, thank you for sharing your method of using Explain Everything with us and with others today. We wish you good luck in the classroom. And we hope that you can come to us one more time and have another session on other ways of using Explain Everything in the future.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you for having me.
It would be great if we could meet in person, next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully
I hope so too.
Later, right?
Yeah.
I hope so too.
There'll be a time, I'm sure. So please stay safe. Give our warm
you
regards
too.
to our students.
Exactly. Stay safe, stay healthy, and thank you for being here, and thank all of you for being here.
That was the final webinar for this year. So we will soon announce new webinars for January. I'm excited about the one that you're hosting on new features of Explain Everything. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm excited to find out that I'm hosting it.
I have some spoilers, but I won't share them. Great things are coming. So stay tuned, join us. And Felix, you're welcome to join us as well on that session.
Exactly.
Thank you.
For today, thank you. It was our pleasure to provide you with this final session. And good luck. And
Merry Christmas, and we will see you in the new year.
See you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.